But I first want to quickly bring in India Today's Shiv Arur for our top story, which is Iran-Israel war clouds intensify, where Iran has warned that it will not just be a single barrage. The attack would be punitive and it would be for effect. That's the information that's filtering out. Iran has warned of a long attack, not a single perhaps, but an extended attack. Iran is setting the stage for its response. And from the information that's now coming out, Iran is following proper channel, it's following due course. It's reached out to the OIC, it's informed other countries, it's warned Israel. I want to bring in Shiv Arur for more on this. Shiv, what's happening in West Asia when you look at the developments all across the region, especially USS rushing, accelerating the deployment of a carrier battle group and a nuclear-powered attack submarine? What does all of this indicate, Shiv?
Gaurav, with all eyes on Iran and that expected escalation from their side, the ball proverbially is in Iran's court, strategically speaking. Iran is obviously feeling pressured to keep the heat up and keep the suspense up as far as what that response is actually going to look like. Obviously, Iran, Israel and the United States are not sitting on their thumbs, sitting on their hands. Israel has conducted readiness platform exercises across all of its air bases. It is continuing to conduct exercises for its air defense systems. Like you rightly pointed out, the United States is speeding the Abraham Lincoln carrier group to the Persian Gulf. Also, the USS Georgia cruise missile submarine is headed towards the region. But Iran is basically trying to jam intelligence agencies at this point of time who are going to be listening to every possible aspect of what Iran is planning to do. And that's why this new proposition of a days-long attack is now being picked up. There are powerful people within the Iranian system who've been giving interviews in the local press, talk about how, don't expect this to be a one-off barrage attack or a few missiles being dropped on Israel, like the attack that Iran had mounted in April this year, in which 99% of the projectiles were intercepted. They are talking now about an extended, possibly days-long attack on Israel. What this could actually look like, we don't, have an idea. Does it involve drones? Does it involve missiles and aircraft? Does it involve, a 360-degree kind of attack using not just Iranian assets in Iran, Gaurav, but also its proxies in Yemen and Lebanon? The picture starts to become quite a disturbing one. Remember when you and I were reporting in Israel, the October 7th attack and the rocket attacks that emerged from Gaza, even those, which were not a very big number, managed to jam Israel's Iron Dome and David Sling systems. So imagine if many multiples of that kind of air attack is actually something that Iran has on its mind, and the picture becomes much, much more troubling. So this is what's going on right now.
And that is why you have an additional aircraft carrier strike group. So imagine an aircraft carrier which is like a floating city with 100 plus fighter jets and helicopters and attack helicopters and electronic warfare aircraft. They already have a Theodore Roosevelt carrier strike group in the region, and they're bringing Abraham Lincoln, because each of these ships, Shiv, it's the aircraft carrier with hundreds of its aircraft, plus destroyers, plus frigates, plus tankers, plus their own submarines, plus USS Georgia, an additional submarine that's coming in. All of this seems to indicate that the Americans are preparing for something that could well be huge in the days ahead.
The United States cannot afford for there to be a big escalation under any circumstances. The very fact that they've already had or have two carrier groups already deployed there, and they're rushing the Abraham Lincoln carrier group, which was scheduled to be in the region, but they're speeding up its arrival, off the Persian Gulf, basically suggests that the United States, the Pentagon, the intelligence system is certain that an escalation is going to happen. Like you rightly said, Gaurav, a carrier strike group is basically like an enormous floating command center. It's got all the assets that a shore-based command center would actually have. It's got air air defense, it's got combat systems, it's got aircraft, it's got cruise missiles, it's got all the kinds of weaponry that one would probably need and what Israel would probably need in a situation like this. Remember that many of the missiles and drones that have been launched from Houthi-held territory in Yemen were actually intercepted by air defense systems of aircraft carriers in the Persian Gulf, Gaurav. So it's something that Israel is definitely going to depend on and will be hoping that that escalation doesn't happen before these assets actually arrive.
Shiv, stay with me because this now puts a very big question mark on the peace talks that were scheduled for the 15th of August, whether in Egypt or in Qatar. A lot of back channel is happening, but will those peace talks actually happen? There's more breaking news that's coming in, and we'll show you a video of an Israeli strike on a terrorist. So the Israeli Defense Forces just moments ago, they've released a video of an airstrike that eliminated an armed terrorist cell inside Rafah. And these terrorists were on the move, according to the IDF. Israel claims to have eliminated a terrorist in Rafah in a drone strike. And Israel has gone on record to say more than 100 terrorists have been eliminated in the ongoing strikes. And they've released that video. So watch that. It's a donkey cart. And there are, according to Israel, the men walking behind are terrorists. So the Israeli Defense Forces say that the strikes against Hamas continue despite this heightened threat of strikes by Iran and Iran-backed forces like the Hezbollah and the Houthi rebels. And Shiv, who's been tracking the story very, very closely, Shiv, this actually puts a very big question mark on the peace talks. Will those peace talks actually happen on the 15th of August? And if they do, if Israel continues to kill Hamas terrorists like they've done just a short while back, what happens to the peace talks after Ismail Haniyeh's killing?
You know, Gaurav, the peace talks had already been all but derailed after the assassination of Ismail Haniyeh. Like you've been reporting, at the time when the Hamas chief was assassinated in Tehran, there was already said to have been something pretty substantial already on the table. And this led to a degree of aggravation between the Biden administration and the Netanyahu administration in Israel over why such a punitive attack needed to happen when there appeared to have been headway in sight as far as a ceasefire was concerned. But the attack on Rafah now, with high-value targets apparently being eliminated by Israel, I'm not sure what really is going to be left of these ceasefire talks. They will have to take on a completely new complexion entirely. Yahya Sinwar has taken over the reins of what is left of the Hamas. There are many unanswered questions about what Israel's shifting demands will be from this ceasefire. It remains to be seen. This is a shape-shifting story, and I think you're absolutely right. The fresh attacks in Rafah make it even more precarious over whether these ceasefire talks can actually go through on August the 15th.
Shiv, keep tracking that story. I will come back to you for more because this situation remains extremely, extremely precarious, and clearly the situation remains on the edge. And tensions have escalated after Iran accused Israel not just of assassinating Ismail Haniyeh, the political leader of Hamas in Tehran, but also these ongoing attacks where in Gaza now it's being said that the death toll has crossed 40,000. Iran's foreign ministry on Tuesday condemned European leaders urging Tehran not to attack Israel, asserting that the Islamic Republic remains resolute in defending its security and would not seek anyone's permission to exercise its legitimate rights to respond to being attacked. And this statement comes following a joint statement by the United Kingdom, France and Germany calling on Iran and its proxy forces to refrain from attacking Israel.
I had a Cobra meeting this morning, which was an opportunity that I
took. British Prime Minister Sir Keir Starmer called Iranian President Masoud Pezeshkian on Monday. It was a 30-minute phone call. The UK Prime Minister asked the Iranian President to stand down on its ongoing threats of a military attack against Israel. Before the call to Tehran, Starmer spoke with the US President Joe Biden as well as with European allies. Iran on Tuesday rejected Western calls to back down.
I would repeat what I said earlier, that we share the same concerns and expectations that our Israeli counterparts have with respect to potential timing here. Could be this week, We're continuing to watch it very, very closely. And it is difficult to ascertain at this particular time if there is an attack by Iran and or its proxies, what that could look like.
On Sunday, US ordered a guided missile submarine to the Middle East and the USS Abraham Lincoln aircraft carrier strike group to sail more quickly to the area. The moves come as the US and other allies push for Israel and Hamas to achieve a ceasefire agreement that could help calm soaring tensions in the region. Since the assassination of Hamas political leader Ismail Haniyeh in Tehran on 31st July and a senior Hezbollah commander in Beirut a day before, the entire region has been pulled into this war cloud.
We are in days of vigilance and preparedness. The threats from Tehran as well as Beirut may come to fruition. And it is important to explain to everyone that readiness, preparation and alertness are not synonyms for fear and panic.
Aerial footage released by Israeli army on Tuesday showed what it said were strikes against the Hezbollah militant group in various areas in Lebanon. Israeli military claimed that it successfully intercepted unmanned aerial vehicles that crossed from Lebanon into Israel on Tuesday. Several European countries have urged their citizens to leave Lebanon due to fears Hezbollah could play a key role in Tehran's retaliation. Tehran has maintained an airy, threatening stance throughout that causes the warring clouds to gather ominously black in the region. Bureau Report, India Today.
And shifting focus to tension in the region, the ousted Prime Minister of Bangladesh, Sheikh Hasina, has released her first statement after fleeing Bangladesh. Sheikh Hasina, in the statement, says that the father of Bangladesh, Sheikh Mujibur Rahman, has been insulted. She says she wants justice for her countrymen. She's appealed to citizens in Bangladesh to observe national mourning on the 15th of August. Now, that's the death anniversary of her father, Sheikh Mujibur Rahman, who was assassinated on the 15th of August in 1975. Sheikh Hasina continues to remain in exile in India. She is still believed to be at the Indian Air Force base on the outskirts of the national capital, and the government in Bangladesh, the new interim government in Bangladesh, led by Professor Muhammad Yunus, it's just announced that 15th of August will no longer be a day of mourning in Bangladesh. So clearly the new establishment is distancing itself from the person considered as the father of Bangladesh, Sheikh Mujibur Rahman, and the legacy of the Awami League. I now want to shift focus to the other big story we're tracking here in the region, and that is Pakistan's former intelligence chief, Lieutenant General Faiz Hamid, once a favorite of the Imran Khan establishment of Pakistan's then Prime Minister Imran Khan. He's now been arrested. He's been taken into custody and will be tried by Field General Court Martial, allegedly for corruption, and it's a corruption that runs into crores of rupees, including 400 tolas. 400 tolas of gold that was looted from a builder in Pakistan. But what makes this extremely critical is the fact that this is the first time in Pakistan's history that a court-martial proceedings have been initiated and a former 3-star general has been arrested. So very clearly the writing is on the wall. Pakistan Army is sending out a message not just to Imran Khan, not just to Pakistan Tehreek-e-Insaf, but also to retired Pakistan Army generals who may want to take on the establishment in Pakistan.
कोर कमांडर घर का दरवाजा तोड़ के मेन अंदर दाखिल हो गई है। ये देख ले, कहा था इमरान खान को ना छेड़ना सर।
Pictures of Pakistan Tehreek-e-Insaf workers and supporters attacking Jinnah House, the official residence of the Lahore Corps commander, continue to haunt Pakistan.
as do these images of the mob attacking symbols of authority in Pakistan, including Pakistan Air Force Base at Miawali, ISI headquarters, and the headquarters of Chitral Scouts. So far, former Pakistan Prime Minister Imran Khan and his party leaders and workers were in the eye of a storm over the May 9 attacks in Pakistan. But now, there is a major twist in the tale. Late Tuesday night, Pakistan Army announced it had taken Lieutenant General Faiz Hamid, former Director General of Pakistan's notorious Inter-Services Intelligence or ISI, and former Bahawalpur Corps Commander into custody for violating Pakistan Army Act, even after retirement.
उनके खिलाफ पाकिस्तान आर्मी एक्ट की दफात के तहत मुनासिब कार्रवाई का आगाज कर दिया गया है। एक हाउसिंग स्कीम का जिक्र भी किया गया, लेकिन अहम तरीन बात यह है कि फैज हमीद के खिलाफ रिटायरमेंट के बाद पाकिस्तानी आर्मी एक्ट की खिलाफ वर्जियां साबित हो चुकी हैं, यानी कि रिटायरमेंट के बाद।
This is unprecedented in Pakistan's history. A former 3-star general and a former Director General of ISI being arrested to be tried by a field general court-martial after retirement. Though on paper, the arrest is for alleged corruption and intimidation. General Hamid stands accused of arresting, intimidating and extorting crores of rupees, diamonds, jewelry and over 400 tolas or 4 kilograms of gold from the owner of the top city developers in a land extortion case. Analysts believe the arrest has more to do with the May 9 violence.
जनरल फैज हमीद के हवाले से चूंकि उनके ऊपर कोई उस तरह से पाबंदी नहीं थी, वो उनकी मूवमेंट बिल्कुल फ्री थी, तो उसके बाद जब उनकी निगरानी की गई तो ये पता चला कि वो तहरीक इंसाफ के कुछ लोगों से मुबैना तौर पर राब्ते में हैं, और उस राब्ते की बुनियाद पर चीज़ों को मजीद जब खंगाला गया तो अब सुनने में ये आ रहा है कि उससे कुछ ना कुछ नई एविडेंस मिले, जिसके बाद ये शोर हो गया कि इमरान खान साहब के बड़े इक़दामात जो हैं उसके अंदर कहीं ना कहीं उनकी इन्वॉल्वमेंट थी।
Lieutenant General Faiz Hamid made international headlines when he reached the Serena Hotel in Kabul on the 4th of September 2021 after the US fled Afghanistan and the Taliban takeover. His confident comment, "Don't worry, everything will be okay," sipping tea in the lobby of the Serena Hotel, was hailed as a military coup by Pakistan in Afghanistan.
Don't worry, everything will be okay.
Lieutenant General Faiz Hamid was seen to be very close to Imran Khan and was seen as Pakistan Army's officer who had rigged the 2018 elections to ensure Imran Khan came to power. Former Pakistan Prime Minister Imran Khan was also very keen to ensure that General Faiz Hamid was made Pakistan's army chief so that he in turn would remain selected as Pakistan's Prime Minister. Bureau Report, India Today.
And look at the twist of fate. Imran Khan is in jail and now General Faiz Hamid, he's in jail. Very clear signal goes out from Pakistan's Army Chief General Asim Munir. Don't mess with the Pakistan Army and the deep state. We'll be tracking those developments very, very closely as Pakistan goes into tailspin. But that is all I have for you on this special broadcast of India First. Many thanks for watching. News and updates continue on India Today. Stay tuned.